Hi everyone, it's Jen from Mind's Eye, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to do the weekly update. All right, so basically all you need to know, all is at rest, but you can't get anything a DUN. So it's spelled differently, the done, but you can't be like a bun in the oven. Like you can't see anything done, a DONE, but you can do it. And it is a repeat and repeat. Why? It's ongoing. Same issues, ongoing. It really is, but it does change day to day. So, what is the knowns, the unknowns, and what do we need to watch out for? Especially with the way, it fluctuates to the point of looking at the thermometer and going, another storm is coming. So, let's look at the White Sage Tarot and see what we got here. So, as we look to it and through it and boo it, it really was nasty. So we have the issues out in California. And as we say it is over marijuana. It is a big deal because we just made leeway with medical marijuana. And now we're having all these issues. We already know what's going on. And we already know what's going on. It really doesn't settle the public, though. It really doesn't. So what do we got to do? So basically what we got to do is what is true, what is not, what is it made of, what's in it, is it legal, are they using even their medical cards for criminal intent? So when I see it through, I go, holy cow, it is deeper than what we think, down to like there's leeway about how medical marijuana is made, even down to the bottles. So when I see it and I see it's difficult, the Seven of Wands shows. The Nine of Cups means it really is happy. But why, like, it would be abrupt like that in California? Why would it be? You can't even see it coming at all. All right. When I see this and I see this Page of Cups, it really was this like young offer that came in California to absolute grandiose thoughts. But they ran with that. Normal. It's like absolutely normal. But they couldn't actually see the window to the glass, to the fly on the glass. So when I see this, it had to do with like feminine energy. I do see a female involved with it. And then when I see the Knight of Cups in reverse, it was nasty emotions within like 2 to 3 hours. When I see it and I see the Page of Pentacles in reverse, there was no contract. There was nothing about like a dispensary, but it was a farm. It really was. It caused a pause, like a huge pause in California. When I see this and I see the Ten of Swords, it was nasty. So as this Ten of Swords is, it's like a really like harsh ending to a stabbing in the back. When you look at the way it's playing out in California right now, you actually have to do it. You actually have to do it. When you see this and you see Judgment in reverse, there is no clear senses. There's no clear sight, smell, taste, and hearing, down to actual like sinuses. It's odd. When I see this, the Three of Pentacles, there really wasn't anything like of a collaboration or a working together. But when I look at this, like I see a male actually come in and says, what to it and do it. So when I look to it and I see the Hermit, they're too solid. They're like too solid. When I see this and I see the Two of Cups and I go, holy cow, holy cow. It like, is there a contract there? Is there like something unbeknownst of an unsaid word? It's happened before because it's causing chaos. The Tower card in reverse, causing a lot of chaos. Two of Swords actually goes, hold up. Why do I see like crossing tape, like perimeter tape all around? It's like too uncanny. I don't know why I have a premonition of the way it played out with Crooks and President Trump. The Queen of Cups actually goes, there's a lot of attunement and there's a lot of balance and intuitive measure, but they have no senses. When they usually are, they're like trying to see like neurologically with some of these individuals who are being brought in to the anti-ICE raids, How is this all connected? It's an anti-ICE raid in relation to a cannabis farm. When I see this, the Eight of Pentacles, there's like no go to it. And you want to say there's no money on the table. There's no like offer on the table. But they're secure. Like they're locked down. They're locked down. Like I feel like it's pertinent when they lock themselves that way. Anyone who has ever worked in DOC or probation or parole or anything of that nature, you have to go, can't even see it coming. You can't even. It's so hard. It's so hard when you see it and you go, the Hierophant, there's no source though. There really isn't. They're saying intuitive, instinctive measure out there. Recklessness though. You're reckless. And I hear, no, we're not. We're thinking. We're think tanking. We're think tanking. Think tanking is something out of like 1992 that you can't actually believe on how bad it was. As I'm seeing as a psychic and remembering a little bit growing up in the 90s, that you actually can't even believe how hard it is to see the Seven of Swords with the Six of Cups. It's happened before. Think tank. Like they're bottoming out, like actual like diabetic symptoms. Some of these individuals, they're low, but they're not diabetics. They're eating, they're hydrating. When I see this and I see the Knight of Wands, I'd have to say it comes in far and fast, and let all the agencies do exactly what they're supposed to be doing in accordance with the law. Because it's not the victory you wanted, but maybe they're on the same page as soon as they come in. You're not to know. You're not to know. So that is where they actually like cut away, but then they see it through. There's something about not being on the same page. There is common ground to expansion of compassion. Absolutely. Hi, Lisa. How are you? So when I see this, we're talking about California and the way it's playing out, that there's something about 1992. And as we're seeing as a psychic right now, and it's about think tank where people bottom out like a diabetic. So when I see this and I see the Ten of Cups, they're happy. There's like contentment in the family. You don't see a whole lot of disrupt or anything unusual. But then when you see the Five of Cups, it literally shows like spilt milk and broken china. Like a ghost, like a poltergeist. When I'm seeing this, there's no like going for it or anything of that nature. It means no, like there's a type of greed that's odd. So my day is going okay so far, but it's odd energy, even after clearing and cleansing after the new moon and the full moons. I had to do it twice. So, we're talking about their senses, and we're talking about sinus issues. And it's like, is this residual like COVID, pneumonia, bird flu? We're not sure. But this is the Akashic Tarot. It is a little bit more cutting away. So it's the Archangel Michael in reverse. Yes, I do. Every day. Different topics every day. And then you have the Buddha prepares. They're balanced, but they're not all of a sudden like they're walking funny. And this is what we've also seen out here in Connecticut. The King of Scrolls to the Buddha prepares, there's documentation on it where they're just like, we're just not sure of it because they're looking and on a face value of how they present. They're like, I'm sick. And they're like, you're not even presenting that you're sick. The Garden, it goes, I think there's a loss of incidences where when you went to school, at least when I was an LPN, when I went to school, and it's not doing any defamation or slander or slew, it literally is whatever the patient says it is, is exactly what it is, especially if they say they have pain. So when you look at it and you go the garden to it, you can't even grow your own food. You can't even. You can't even like go out there and do anything. When you see it is because you can't even go to the library. Can't even do it. Why can't we go to the library? What all of a sudden you're like, it's gotta be the moon. It's gotta be the moon. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Lisa. Lightning bolt. Storms. Odd storms. And then I start doing like my old signs of being a visiting nurse, like if something was coming, I would just automatically do it. And I do. Nope, thank you. We're on the East Coast up here in the North, Connecticut. Spring and autumn. What do we need to know about California? Spring and autumn and everywhere. Spring and autumn has to do with balance and walking. They're I don't know why I hear attainable. I hear that's like my sign. Like I grew up in the 90s where the crime families were like big, so release. The Queen of Roses in reverse. Flour, like cooking flour. When I see this, I'm like, there's something about edibles. Archangel Gabriel, there's no message. He's usually the messenger. Something about the moon and crescent moon. There's a ritual. There's a ritual around there. It's pretty common. I'd say ethnicity, diversity. Not really documented the Queen of Scrolls, but it's there. You can find it a little bit in history. Clearing the way. I'd actually look on trails and like tracks. That's like another like check everything. Reflection. I'd have to say, yeah, I'd actually look at the waters. Something is going on. So let's get out of this one. This is a fated incident. Fated literally means it came out of nowhere. It's not written. If you can't find a prophecy or prediction about it, it literally is just, where does it go? Yeah, Connecticut is not too bad right now. Not too bad. Here it is. Poker cards. What do we need to know? Yes, go ahead, Lisa. I'm just doing a psychic stare. Trying to see if I can pick up on anything on remote viewing. Queen of Spades, King of Clubs. What do we need to know? What do we need to know? Yes. I'd have to say it really is like hard. Like again, premonition coming through. What is this? Eight of Hearts. What do we need to know about the Eight of Hearts? I'd have to say like just do your normal. Like if you feel like something is just not right in the house, you already know how to take care of your house. Something about planes. Watch the planes down to like the earth plane, like the horizontal, the horizon. It's just like waist level, usually the plane. Queen of Spades, vehicles. Queen of Hearts, red flags. Jack of Spades. Something about in-betweeners. It's really old crime. In-betweeners. Nine of Diamonds. Banks. Down to like beaches, like the bank. Five of Spades. This is how like it's all correlated. It's odd. Five of Spades. What do we need to know? Animals. Watch your animals' behaviors. Again, the Joker. I'd have to say, like a butt of the Joker cigarette, a stale cigarette. And when I see the Queen of Clubs, I go, look at politics. Look at politics. What club? What club? Is it club soda? What kind of club soda? What's the brand of the club soda? What's the lemon in it? What is, he goes, there's like somebody trolling something or something trolling. Like they've had enough and they can't spell. So that was one of the big crimes out here, was that our school board in Connecticut had a lot of issues with a lot of the children, and they had these odd symptoms where they could no longer read or write or spell. Then you talk about chaos, and then you talk about like a fiery like output of the public. And then we have a lot of disappearances still happening. They just randomly go. You can't even believe it. What else do we need to know for the weekly update? I'd have to say there is this form of all of a sudden like this like lack of communications with individuals, and it comes in what they call the word sparse. But it really started when I'm looking at the calendar. They want to say you started feeling it around July 6th. It really started around the 4th and the 5th. And that was the question on the table with politics, was whether or not should they cancel 4th of July. Is it me, or am I the only one who's linking this like common, like what's going on? Am I the only one like following through? That's what I feel some days. So when I see it and I go, yeah, I feel sinus issues coming on. When I look at it and I go, there it is, around the 14th, when I see the Six of Pentacles, there's like offers taken away. That's odd. Why don't you want to push through? Why don't you want to do anything, or like do anything of this nature? Yes, you may have a suggestion. I don't think you heard me, just Lisa. So when I see the Chariot, it is a propel forward. It is like a driving force. It gets everything going quick, hard, and heavy. That's the way that energy of that card is, because there's like loss of retirement, loss of property, loss of animals, loss of relationships, and sharp endings, even to untimely deaths in families and friends. So when I see this masculine energy and this is the Emperor card, I'm seeing how the way this moon is, something of an eclipse. I feel like a lot of natural things are happening. So we had the summer solstice, we just had the buck full moon, and then we were talking about how some of these asteroids and comets and other things out in outer space are really dictating on how things play out. All right. The Son of Cups in reverse literally states that you can't even finish your coffee first thing in the morning, and something is already right there. Already right there. There it is. What else do we need to know? Politics. Let's talk about crooks and 1 year post. So when I see this individual, I see this someone who was instilled with by a lot of things. So when I look at it and I go, they were literally instilled by parents. What did they instill? We still can't figure it out what he was instilled with. When you see instilled and it goes crazy, and then you see the families who are still having difficulties with the situation, and how our president still can't get his words out, but you can't slam him that he's not okay yet, because we're not doctors. That you look at it and you have to say, are we delusional? Or are we good enough to where we say we're watching body mechanics and behavior in both presidential terms, Biden and Trump, because of struggle? When I see this and I go, there's no thereof, when I see this old sign for like money on the table and thrown to like just get it done. Just get it done. When I look at this and I see the sun and I go, they're really unhappy because I'm seeing something around the 23rd that makes no logic. There's no logic. So when you look at it as like a huge collective, if you're trying to put yourself like, here I am, I'm legal, I'm judicial, I'm military, I'm constitutional law, health, welfare, and safety, and watch everyone's behaviors instead of yelling at them, you have to say something's deceitful. Something is deceitful. The energy is deceitful. Look at the way the wind blows. So you can't even you can't even believe, like when I say logic, my God. So no, we do not sell period bloody jelly, period blood drinker 200 at all on this platform. No. No and no. But thank you for asking. So when I see this and I say there is this like finality of relief to cause a long pause, you can't even see it. Because literally, you can't even do. I'm not even wearing makeup. I'm not even wearing makeup. I don't think you're seeing straight. So when I look at this and I go, no, I don't think so either. The Queen of Cups goes, no, no, no. There's no attunement. There's something going on where people are not hearing things. Strength, yeah, whatever this energy is, where you flip on the news and you go, there's a huge issue with crowd control. And then there's a huge issue of everything else. Are they calling it out? Maybe not. I bet you any money they connected to it. When you see this and you go, no way, no way. You can't even believe it. It's already been foreseen or foretold. Prudency. This is where the biggest measure with medical is, like how prudent it is. Let's look at the literary witch's oracle. No, I am not that crazy woman who grew up what you saw growing up, who's into yoga and spiritual illness. No, that's not me. So when I look at this and I say hunger, senses, when I see tree, it has something, for lack of a better term, rooted. You can't even make it up. Where is this like energy rooted? White dress, book. This is all in the next week. Lantern and trickery. When I see this and I see justice, white dress, appearances, society, gender, book. There's something written about individuals that was so heinous that they can't actually be themselves. They can't even sting themselves. This was so bad. This was so bad. My word. What do we need to know about a lantern? Guidance, instinct, trust. They're like just down to instinct. Here it is. There's something about community. There's something about trickery. What else do we need to know? What else? Grotesque humor towards people. Teacup. Mystery. I feel like a lot of these things that come in to the law enforcement, to the military, is so sensitive that you can't even talk about it. Teacup literally means at ease, rest, small mind. Like, they're free to talk on however they are. I feel like someone's running their mouth on TV. There we go, Gold Tarot. What else do we need to know? So when I look at this and I say, does it actually go on the plane? It actually does. As far as what I'm seeing the military go through, it's indecisive. I see a no. A no on boots on the ground on a second way. No Texas, no New York, no California, no boots on the ground. I don't see it anywhere else. I have to say, by the 23rd, there are, speaking of something, there were diplomatic conversations with the president this week, as we know. Something happened in the last 2 to 8 years where it actually had a spark, and it came out of the blue. Anyone knows that expression is usually a first responder. It came out of the blue. When it comes out of the blue, it is a blue flame. And when you see it and you look at that blue flame, you go, what came out of that? Right now, am I seeing things? When I look at this and I say the Knight of Cups, it has nasty emotions. And when you see this King of Cups, everything seems fine at first. Because when I look at this, then it becomes toxic masculinity. And then it becomes like toxic feminine energy. And it comes in strong and it's back, forth, like a tennis court. And then it lowballs you. And then you have to get securement. This is the kind of conversations. There really isn't much of a push on to a push through, especially when it comes to the 1 year post of the incident with President Trump, and then the issues with California and ICE and immigration to illegal aliens. There's a difference that you can't even believe it. It's causing unrest. It is a driving force. How to tell the difference? Look at their eyes. Their eyes are different. Contentment, you'll be able to pick up on it if you've been in healthcare. You almost have to work in pairs to like fours. There is like a stealing of energy, like energy vampires, by the 25th. Why am I overboard on the 19th? How did this happen? They sit well, though. The way they sit and present themselves is honorable. It doesn't look like them selling themselves. So that is the conversations. It is pretty point blank on this weekly update, which is usually odd. It's a little bit more flowing, and it isn't. So let's try to do the runes. I feel like things are like too up in the air, and we need to come back down. All right, Black Obsidian. It is a go through, which means that I feel like more ear infections. Instinctive rule. Solid. And then when you look at this at night, havoc, joy, And then you look, what's this like wheel? Something about looking at natal charts. I feel like that's prying also. I feel like somewhere someone was looking at natal charts and they weren't supposed to. That's private information. It's one's own record. It's something about wealth. It was strength. It goes to like a phrase down to like, this is like heritage and culture, a state if you're pagan Viking, your body. When you look at this, you go, trolling? No. I see the two sticks and I'm seeing the twine and they're literally playing like a cat's cradle. And when I look at this, I see water, a lake. I'm seeing everything. It goes and you say, you can't even do. It's about daytime and they literally troll it through. Living together, hidden. When you see this, it gifted, and you go, no, you can't do. You can't do. There's something in the ashes. I feel like you look at cigarette ashes and you like toy with it, or like incense ashes. And then when you see the ashes, like on crime scenes, you go, what is this? What is this? And become defensive. It's odd. It is odd. What else do we need to know? I feel like there's a bigger push of body care, tenderness, and rest. Multifaceted, unique nature. Let yourself be seen. So let's talk about healthcare. They had a large sting. It was really bad. Homesick for the stars. Are they like not in their right minds? Something about addiction, even though they don't look it, even if they're not testing positive, there's like an addiction with healthcare. When I see this, I say, let it go. It's not your boundary. There's like issues. When I see this, like you're part of Team Soul's call and support. There was a lot of questions about the medical marijuana. That is the topic that really wants to come out. Devotion, potency, make your life a moving prayer, tinctures, CBD. When you see this, Andromeda energy, adventures say yes to change. Like you have to say almost like, yeah, I'll do Reiki, cranial psychotherapy. I'll do everything that I can to balance myself. And if I had to. But there's something about like observing what is not yours. It's something like permeating. Something about catheters. So when I look at this and I say cosmic ancestors see the light by being grounded. Yeah, like you actually have to look around and be grounded. Deep love, mother's milk, birth as a portal. Some people who are spiritual understand that. When I see this, the intelligence of the universe lies within you. Everything has gone to the basis of known to get it done, but you can't actually get it done. When you see this and you go birth and creations, tapestry and expression, like it was like there. And then all of a sudden they're like, yeah, everything is fine and everything is good. I'm digging. That's all you need to know, guys, is that you can't even get it. What did I pick up on? What did I pick up on that I have to dig at it? Light worker, starseed, serve the world by being you. You don't know what it is until it's in your face. They're actually kind of nasty, these individuals. All of a sudden, it's like a betrayal mode, and then you live with somebody else. Light messengers, so dragonflies, hummingbirds, to the point of like a game of Gamble. And like I've been saying, it's like a Procter Gamble. This one is like a hard lock on it. Definitely out here, we had an incident where they did a smoke, a toke, a loke, and a hoke, and a lock somewhere. And it caused quite the uptick. So I'm seeing this, and I'm seeing alligator, Alcatraz. I even have to roll my eyes. What happened there? What happened? I'm seeing otter. I'm seeing raccoon. I'm seeing wolf. And then I see children. And then I see swan. I feel like this is something that America does not want to remember. 1993 on the missing own, OAN. That's why it triggers some people with OAN. Camel. Starfish. I'd have to say like the salt beaches, Northern Africa. When I see the bear, there's a lock around there. Minerals. What are we deficient in that everyone needs the mineral deal? Play it in Oracle. Marope. Golden egg. Star. Light technology. Where it goes to be none. Service. Calling upon. And then an actual drive-through. I hear leave it right there. Leave it right there. All right, Light Seers Tarot. What else do we need to know? I see how like the energy is like everything is gold, but then you actually have to look at it and go, no, there's something like spurring to sparring down to like a horse and a spur. And when you're riding, you see it on the glide through the glide through to be known. There is something of like this partnership, and it is disappointing. Areas like of securement. Areas of securement. It's a little bit trickery. Like I said, it's something about trickery. Let's talk about ice. What is this issue with ice and Director Holman? And then we'll talk about the IRS. A lot of energy getting knocked out when shuffling the cards. What do we need to know? Grace is full and fulfilled today to be known. It is so nasty, this type of addiction, to a point of like a disarray to an array of what was found down in Texas with the floods to simple like silver alerts. down to actual courthouses, that when you see this and you see this Ten of Pentacles, it has a lot of securement when it is found, and they won't budge on it upon a look. When you see the Five of Wands and you look at it, like ICE comes in, but do you need the FBI? Do you need the CIA? Do you need like the state police? What do you need? Who need actually to come in here? When you see this and you go the Eight of Swords, it really is nasty. Nasty. Five of Swords. You can't even believe or go through it. To the Three of Wands, foreseen. Like it's a no-go. No go, no go. Two of Wands. All right there. Waiting in the window. Here it is. Poplar wood. Poplar wood. Instinct. Then you see gift. And when you see havoc, you go, you can't even believe it. Like how willing some of these problems were. How people were willing to just go, I'm just going to go do. I'm just going to go do. It makes no sense to actually go through it. When you see strength, when you see wealth, when you see power, and you go faded, when you look at trolling, the rolling stone and moss. That's what you need to know. When you go to this, you go, no friggin' way. No friggin' way. You can't even do it hard enough. You can't even see it or sue it hard enough. You go, no can do, no can do. And you go, where is this? Are we finally going to get our reveal a little bit? It's going to take months. Months. Why? Law. Minors. Elderly. Disabled. Animals. There's laws on Privacy Act. But it's there. It's known. I'm looking for unknowns. Ash. Playing with ashes. Incense. When you look at this, you go, no, it was there. It was like a butterfly effect, though. And you couldn't even see the gun higher enough for it. When I look at this, it is worse than the Unabomber because it is like a bomb, an energy bomb. It hits you and you're like, oh my God, I feel like the wind got knocked out of me. Lake effect. It's a lake effect. It hits through wind currents where you actually hear talking through it. When I look at it and you go, no can do, no can do. I can't even see it through. Heritage. Something about heritage. Writing, heritage. Trying to boil it down a little bit. So if I'm driving in the car and I'm doing a long ride and I'm driving, and I feel like, oh, finally, it like literally gets into you. I got rid of it. Like collecting energy all throughout. It was so hard. It was so hard. Hidden. Here we go. Peach Moonstone Runes. What can solidify the rest of this reading for the weekly update? I'm seeing the Navy. A lot of testing. A lot of testing. There's like a birth of something that you can't even believe that it finally got here. Because just upon a drive, you go, what just came out of me? And you go, close the door, and I gotta get it out. And you go, holy cow. trolls and gnomes and fairies. this is happy. This is really happy. And it goes to warrior. Then freeze. What do we need to know about ice? That's just agitating everyone. It's just coming out of them. It's literally coming out of them. And it's agitating people. Anti-ice, anti-ice. Something about a gift. At night, like a sword. They are living. And then you go strength. At the lake. And you go wealth. And you go tree. Try. Can't even do. Can't even do. All right. Lastly, crystal quartz. What else can we get out of this? It goes, I like the way you swing, but you can't even do. Let's go to, we had an incident here in Connecticut at a swingers club. Is it legal and lawful for them to be open next to the church? It really all depends on how and who is sticking to it. If they are sticking to it, are they being in their lane? Are they being appropriate? Who got there first? And not based on beliefs and religious practices and what is safe and what is not. You really, not even for transgender, you cannot stop them on the basis of known that there's things out there that they do that are in alignment with them. And that's all you need to know. So with that being said, with that rhetoric, we will talk to you soon. Any questions or concerns, leave a like, a comment, a share, an email, a subscribe. It's greatly appreciated. And we will talk to you tomorrow.